in closing, teacher roles and expectation. So remember, we have to teach the whole counsel of God to the people, not only compartmentalize the subject, but people must be familiarized with everything the Bible teaches so that they can apply it. It's important that we as teachers demonstrate a positive behavior, values and behavior. If you have a stink attitude, the students will have a stink attitude. If you have a positive attitude, encourage the students will duplicate that. Number 5, under teaching standards, give regular feedback. Don't be threatened if a student tells you, can you please do this, do this. Be open-minded. You're the teacher, but be open for regular good feedback so that you can improve and become a better teacher. So, what is the main responsibilities? The main responsibility is you must pray for your students, teach your students, and make sure that at the end their knowledge, their behavior, and their level of obedience is on the highest standard. You yourself have good ethical and moral behavior. Very important for us to have good ethical moral behavior, because we are teaching the Word of God, which encourages us to live a godly life. So it's important for you to understand the subjects. That is why you have a specific course that will teach you the subjects and how to train. There will be some point number 9, contribute to oral and written exams, report and the reference relating to the individual student. So it's required for the teacher to give written reports. You'll meet with your national director. You're going to ask you questions. They're really interested. They are well trained and they're really familiar with the context of the student. So we are professional people. So conduct the lesson professionally. Be well known with what is the policies. If you are teaching at a university or a college or wherever you teach this material, make sure you familiarize with the standards, the ethos, the policies of the place where you teach, and that you comply to that. It's also important to keep attendance register, who have attended which class, and after the class have they submitted the required material. So we are there. Point number 12, under main responsibilities, to give guidance to students in spiritual and in social matters in their lives. If they go through a crisis with the child, with the spouse, be there for them, help them, guide them through the process, so that we are not only teachers, but we're also pastors and mentors for the students. There's a national director, which you all know. Each country has a national director. Countries like India, in some places where there's a huge amount, it might even be under the national director, there might be area directors, which you will familiarize yourself so that we can roll this training course out and people can get well trained. It's important that at the end of the class there will be graduation. The teacher's responsibility to prepare the student. How is graduation going to take place? If they need accreditation to go for further studies, you need to familiarize yourself with the process of each country, how your course can get accredited. Remember, students will start learning, but learning is a lifetime process. We never end our lives, never stop learning, so you learn until you are there no more. And I have emphasized the importance of reading through the Bible. That is important. So what is the role of the student? The role of the teacher? You are proactive, means you are well prepared, you are ready for for each class. So when the students come there, you are ready, notes are ready, and the students will be able to learn in a good environment. There's a culture of excellence. What we do according to our best efforts, and we want to do it the best so that the students can be the best trained, so that they can be very effective. I've told you about motivating people. It's important that learners and leaders are self-motivated. If you're not self-motivated, you will not be an effective leader, but we also need to motivate students if they have to study long hours and still be in the ministry, they have a family, they have children, and motivate them to go through all the material. Remember who we represent. We are representatives of Christ on earth, and we must represent our Master, and the way we understand Him is how we will represent Him. The Bible is very strong, especially for readers, to be role models in attitude, speech, and towards conduct. So the highest form of ethical and moral conduct is expected of you. Number 7, be in agreement with the statement of faith and the education process. It's important. This is what we believe, and because of this belief, this is what we teach. So be in agreement. If you don't agree with that, you're probably at the wrong place. So mentoring students, that's important. Students are not mentoring, mean you're actively involved in the life and the process of the student to attain certain outcomes, not only intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, physically. You are there to go with your student. You are coaching them to become intellectually develop, spiritually develop, emotionally, and in all aspects of their lives. So if you do not know how to do that, there's some guidelines. First of all, you must agree on boundaries. I'm going to assist you in these areas. Don't let people become emotionally dependent upon you. I'm going to guide you through this process, and when this process is finished, you must be able to stand on your own feet. So if you're a mentor, it means you have been mentored before. You cannot mentor somebody if you don't know mentoring and you haven't been coached before. People must be motivated to be self-reflecting and developing and take responsibility on us. It's not our responsibility to let the students learn. Their responsibility is to learn. Our responsibility is to present the knowledge according to our best efforts, in efforts that will motivate them so that they can be self-learners. So in mentoring, we're going to mentor you. This is the goals, this is the outcomes, this is the time frame. The goals, the outcomes, the time frame. After 3 or 4 months, you have to develop this issue, and you will be able to do that. So again, very good mentor material is available on the app. Reporting, so the teacher must report and give a report of the classes to the national director in order that there is a register and we see that the student have complied to what is required. This is an academic course. There's some academic standards, there's some knowledge, some skills which you need to be able to apply and demonstrate in order to get your accreditation and your graduation at the end. Finances, very important. Students should pay a fee for the class. It's mutual accountability. One day you'll be a pastor and you will expect your congregation to contribute towards the church so that the church can function. The same is true of the classes. Students must contribute. In each country you can set what is the price for the students to attend the class. This is the price of the material. You can work with your national director. I've mentioned that there is some scholarships on a limited basis. We don't want people not to learn because the country is in poverty or the circumstances is bad. There is some financial assistance in order to provide the books for the students. A good principle, Galatians 6 verse 6 says, let the one who is taught the word share all the good things with the one who teaches. So it's a biblical principle to contribute towards your growing and acquiring your skills. So as a guideline, we recommend that there's a steward fund, and that there's a committee, the chairman, who is probably the teacher, there's a secretary and the treasurer among the students, so that there's accountability that somebody will not mismanage funds. Good financial principle. That brings us to the last one, that is accountability. 3 areas. We are accountable towards God, which call us, and one day we will give account for God for our lives. We are accountable to the students. They come and they expect, they give time, they give money, they give the effort to study, and we as teachers are accountable for that. And then there's accountability to the national leadership team, which you will probably meet once every 6 months or once every 3 months and share your challenges with one another, and then have a good time together. Important that you as students will have a meal regularly. It's a very important biblical principle. Share some meal, have once a month. Each one bring something, either bring money and buy some food and share food together, or each one bring some meal and eat together and have fellowship. It's a very important biblical principle. So that is the 4 lessons.